Listen to me, Zeng Wei, she said. You told heaven no. You told the patch no. You told a god no. That's good. Now you're going to tell me yes. He blinked. Yes, he said automatically. Her eyes softened a fraction. Good, she said. Han clutched his chest. I've never seen someone domesticate a divine anomaly in under 2 minutes, he whispered reverently. Incredible technique. Teach me. Yun didn't even spare him a look. Step 3, she said, like that hadn't just happened. We figure out what to do with them. Her gaze flicked down at the 3 kids. The oldest, Lin, was awake now, though still clinging to Yun's sash and peeking at the world from behind her elbow. Their eyes kept darting to any loud sound. Every time someone shouted, they flinched hard and went stiff. Everything in their posture said, "Don't notice me, don't take me again." The middle one had not moved. Out cold, mouth slightly open. Dead asleep. The tiny one was still on Zeng's hip, but now instead of frozen staring they were watching everything with sharp, bird-like alertness, head tilting minutely like bite. If anyone got too close, they straightened their back and made themselves bigger, which on a body that size just looked like a very offended dumpling but still. We keep them, Zeng said, no hesitation. Yun snorted. Obviously, she said. Han blinked. Oh. Okay. That's decided, then. Madame Shen, still halfway across the terrace, bellowed, of course we keep them. What kind of heartless gutter slime do you think we are, Faye? Hold them while you sharpen your knives, that's how you keep strays, it's not complicated. Han held up both hands in surrender. Hey, he said. I wasn't arguing. I was bracing. Children are loud. As if on cue, a different Tianling toddler across the terrace, the one with the sticky hands and the lethal scream from last night, let out a banshee shriek of joy at discovering a market rope net and attempted to climb it like a spider. 3 market hands moved in a blur to grab him before he could swan dive into godless open air. The entire terrace, including Madame Shen, yelled no in perfect chorus. The toddler burst into delighted laughter. Han gestured helplessly. That, he said. Shen snarled, we keep them. Han smiled, soft. We keep them, he echoed. Yun's jaw eased a hair. Good, she said. Healer authority says we keep them. Zeng swallowed. You want to name them? Yun said quietly, voice gentler now, angled toward him. He looked at her. Her eyes were steady. Oh. He felt that in his bones. He looked down at the littlest one, currently guarding his hip like a sentry compacted into a dumpling. He looked at the 5-year-old with the 2 big blank gray shirt, still asleep like they hadn't slept in however long gray had lasted. He looked at Lin or was Lin, who was watching him watch them like the world would end if he said the wrong sound. Names are memory, Contract Fox had said. Memory is sharp as law. If he named them here, under lanterns, with market listening, it would count. It would write them in. His throat tightened. I don't want to take theirs away, he whispered. Yun nodded. We ask, she said. She touched Lin's shoulder. Little one, she whispered, gentle. Your name was Lin? Lin tensed. Bit their lip. Nodded fast, almost like guilt. Lin, Yun said, and the way she said it was anointing, not testing. Lin let out a tiny sound that cracked halfway to a sob and buried their face back in Yun's sash like someone had just covered them with blankets in winter. Lin, Yun said again, firmer. You're Lin. We'll all call you Lin. If anyone tells you you're not Lin, you tell me and I'll break their nose. Lin made a little hiccuping noise into her sash that might have been a laugh. Okay, Yun whispered, voice soft at the edges. Good. She looked at the middle one. And you? She murmured, reaching out and smoothing hair back from the kid's forehead like she'd done this 1,000 times in triage tents. The kid didn't stir. Dreaming, she said softly. We'll ask when they wake. Her gaze slid to the tiny one. The tiny one stared back, solemn. Yun's mouth twitched. And you, she said, are trouble. The tiny one blinked. Han choked. Madame Shen barked a laugh. Bite made a CHRRP that Zeng was 90% sure translated to finally someone said it. The tiny one tilted their head like they were considering that. Then, gravely, they nodded. Trouble, they whispered. Of course, Han muttered. Yun looked very serious. Are you okay with trouble? She asked. Do you like trouble? The tiny one nodded again, decisive. Zeng swallowed. Yun looked at him, eyebrows raised. That look said, your turn. Stand up. Be what you are. He took a breath. He leaned forward slightly, wincing at the soreness that ran down his spine like a bruise. He touched his free hand, gently, to the 5-year-old's chest, the asleep one, like tapping a save point without waking him. We'll ask you when you're up, he whispered. But you're ours now. All 3 of you. You hear me? Trouble nodded solemnly. Lin peeked up, red-eyed, and nodded too. Something in Zeng's chest stuttered. Family, a piece of his brain said, and then stared at itself in absolute shock. He swallowed hard. He turned his head back to Yun. Step 4? He whispered. She exhaled. Step 4, she said, voice tightening again, is figure out how we're not dead by sunset. Han made a chirp of a laugh. Right, he said. That. He slid fully upright now, rolling his shoulders, letting his flippant edge bleed back in but not all the way. Patch won't hit before midday, he said. It's still recalibrating. It expected Tianling to vanish quietly at dawn. We embarrassed it. It has to clean the mess before it hits us with force. There's protocol. The patch loves protocol. Midday, Zeng echoed. So we have ours. Han nodded. Ours to stabilize, anchor, map, brief, and get at least one scouting point ready near the seams in case they try a grab. Yun shot him a look. And feed everyone. Han smiled. Always feed everyone. Madame Shen, who had drifted back over during step 3 and was now squarely standing over them like a general over a map, folded her arms. I'll handle keeping people steady, she said. You handle gods and ghosts. I don't care which of you does which. But before you run off to fight robots and monsters, you're going to take 2 bowls of soup and a gourd of water and some dried buns in a cloth and you're going to eat between heroics. You fall apart on me, I will drag you back here and I will let Qian staple you. Yes, Annie Shen, all 3 of them said in unison. Han blinked, then squinted at Zeng. You said that in the exact same tone, he whispered. Zeng whispered back, she scares me. She should scare you, Yun muttered. Madame Shen sniffed, satisfied. Good, she said. Fei. Do your sneaky scum thing. Shen. Pack your bloody pouch. Boy. She looked at Zeng. Don't die. Yes, Auntie, he said. She nodded, spun on her heel, and marched off to harass someone about the piss trench. Zeng let out a breath. His chest hurt, not just physically now. Emotionally. The kind of hurt that felt like something too big for him had just been wedged behind his ribs and his bones hadn't caught up yet. This is mine, he thought, dazed. Not the market. Not heaven. Not the court. Not the patch. This. These people. This tarp. This mess. Yun watched his face like she could see that thought land. Her expression softened in a way it didn't for most people. Finish the soup, she said gently. Yes, he said. She raised one eyebrow. Yes, Yun, he corrected. Her mouth tugged. Good, she murmured. Han popped to his feet in a single smooth motion and stretched, vertebrae cracking like knuckles. All right, he said. Field trip. Yun narrowed her eyes. You let him finish that bowl, she said. Han slouched, scandalized. Are you implying I would deny a starving man soup? I am offended. I am outraged. I am, Yun's gaze sharpened. Han grinned. He'll finish the bowl, he said. Yun said. Zeng swallowed one more spoonful of broth and felt almost human again. Almost. His mind was catching up. Ling's voice from the night curled in the back of his skull like a coal. You cannot save everyone. You don't do it alone. Don't let them turn you into a symbol. Let them love you. He took a breath. He slipped his free hand down to where Trouble sat like a self-appointed guard on his hip and rested his palm gently across their back. Trouble leaned into it without looking at him, like this had always been true. Okay, he thought, quietly, like a promise. Okay. We move in 15, Han said. Archivist first. Then seams. Then we figure out who we have to steal before midday. Steal, Yun said, rolling her shoulders, loosening muscles that had spent the night tensed for flight or for catching falling men. We're calling it steal now. Han flashed a grin. Madame Shen calls it keep, he said. Contract Fox calls it breach. Morning Face calls it morning reclamation. The patch calls it corruption removal. I call it steal. You call it triage. Zeng calls it Tuesday. It's morning, Yun said. Han winked. Then we're early. Zeng wiped his mouth with the back of his hand and handed the bowl back to Madame Shen's orbit like an offering to a small, efficient war god. He pulled one shaking breath in. Let it out. Felt the tether hum through him, connecting him to 65 lives in a floating outlaw city full of knives and lanterns and defiance. He was exhausted. He heard everywhere. He was about to go meet the archivist of an illegal memory market and plan a raid on Divine Rollback. And, terrifyingly, he wasn't doing it alone. He looked at Yun. He looked at Han. He looked at Trouble, Lin, and the still sleeping middle kid with the too big shirt. He looked at Madame Shen cutting wood with a kitchen knife like she was carving a treaty. He looked at Bite, who was currently washing a paw with dainty precision and clearly pretending he had never been worried about anything in his entire life. And Zeng Wei, dead programmer, living error, Tianling's tether, Contract Fox's spark, Core's voice, idiot, smiled. Let's go break heaven again, he said quietly. Yun sighed. Drink water first, she said. Han laughed, bright and fast and sharp as a blade catching sun. Terrace 7 swayed under them. Lantern light warmed. Somewhere out past the market's edge, in the pale half-rendered distance, the patch flexed. Somewhere deeper in, a woman called the archivist slammed her hand on a map and swore she was not going to cry over someone she hadn't even met yet. And for one thin, stolen morning, the world held.